Hi everyone, thanks for joining me on another one of my videos. This is going to be a fun one, I think. I found a bunch of spray paints that were on sale at Michael's, and I decided to gather up as much as I could because what's not a good excuse to buy more spray paints? These particular ones are fluorescents or they're UV reactive, so they'll glow when they're under blacklight. And I bought 4 different brands and as many of those colors as I could for each brand. So the brands I bought available at Michael's were Montana cans, which I use a lot. They're some of my favorite spray paints. It's a German-based company, and they do pretty good usually. And then there was another brand called Iron Lac, which I had not tried before. They're an Australian company, which makes a lot of sense after using them, and you'll see. And this was my first time trying those. I also bought some more commonly available spray paints that you could get at Lowe's or Home Depot, which is the RustOleum colors and the Krylon colors. So what you're looking at here is 6 different colors of those 4 different brands of paints. And I got them in pink, blue, orange, green, and red. Those are arranged horizontally. The brands are vertical. So the very top row is all Montana cans. The second row is Iron Lac. The third row is RustOleum. And the fourth row is Krylon. Before we talk about the colors, I want to talk about the application of this paint just for a second. I've been using spray paints for a long time, and I didn't really think there was much new under the sun. They all spray the same generally. You know what spray paints are like. There was one brand here that really caught me off guard and made me stumble for a second. I had to gather myself and get some extra equipment to figure out how to properly paint that stuff on here. And that was the Iron Lac. I guess leave it to the Australians to do something a little bit extreme. So that stuff comes out of the can like a fire hose. And you know what? Actually, let's just go outside. Let's just go outside for a second, and I'll do a quick little video of all of these spraying and then the Iron Lac. Yeah, you're gonna need to practice a little bit with this one. I've got all 4 brands of spray paint here, and I'm gonna show you each one to see if you can tell the difference between the spraying application of each one. So I'll start with, we'll go in order. Montana, RustOleum, Krylon, and then I'll finish up with Iron Lac. Montana. RustOleum. Krylon. Okay, pretty normal so far, nothing out of the ordinary, right? Iron Lac. I just simply wasn't ready for that wide of a tip, that much application. What I found whenever using this, if you have a small area, it's best just to do a quick little just a little bit of practice, and I think this will actually still work pretty well. Just gotta practice with it. Now, I want to talk about the colors a little bit because I'm not really sure how well the colors are coming through on my camera or how they'll appear on your screen. So I want to just kind of describe what I'm seeing with my eyes a little bit so you have a good idea of what you're going to get. Starting in the top, pinks. Let's start with the pinks. The first one is the Montana Cans Pink. That's a very bright pink. It's kind of what I'd expect from a fluorescent pink. So that's pretty standard. I'd be okay with that. Right below that is the Iron Lac Pink, which is definitely a lot more solid. This pink looks almost red, but I don't know. It still looks very pinkish. Below that is the RustOleum pink, fluorescent pink, and I mean that looks orange, frankly, to me. It's definitely the pink one, but it looks like a very orangish pink compared to the other ones. And then the bottom one is the Krylon one, and that looks kind of similar to the Iron Lac one, but maybe a little more red, maybe not quite as deep. That looks, those are all okay. The only blue one I could find was the Montana cans. And as far as blues go, it's not super deep, but that's a solid blue. I think I'd be okay with that in most wherever I could picture using blues. Oranges are next. That's again very bright. That seems to be a theme with these Montana cans. They look like the neon colors. Like if you think of like neon green, neon pink, like that's what I would expect. Those are the colors I'd expect from it. The Iron Lac does not offer a orange, so we skip that. And the Rust-Oleum and the Krylons look almost the same. The Krylon one went on a little thin, and it looks a little lighter to me. The Rust-Oleum looks a little bit better, a little deeper, and yeah, it looks okay. Now, all of these went on with one coat, by the way. I didn't want to put multiple coats on. I just wanted to see what everything would look like with one coat. Some of this, the thinness on some of these, I think might be resolved with multiple coats, but for just demonstrations purposes, I'm sticking with one coat. In the green, again, a nice light neon green for the Montana cans. And wow, that Iron Lac green is super deep. It reminds me a lot of the Wildfire acrylic paints that I showed in my previous videos. A very nice deep green. I hope it glows as well as it looks in daylight. It looks great right here. And then the Rust-Oleum looks a lot like the Montana cans with a little bit, maybe a little bit darker. Certainly not the Iron Lac green, but a little bit darker than the Montana cans. And I couldn't get a green in the Krylon. Yellows, Montana once again a very bright neon yellow. Nothing in the Iron Lac. I mean, I keep getting these bottom two confused. The Rust-Oleum looks a little deeper yellow, not quite as bright, more like kind of like a I don't know, big bird yellow. I don't know. It's a deeper yellow, and same with the Krylon at the bottom. It looks a little more like a mustard yellow, a little bit even deeper than the Rust-Oleum one. And then over on the end, we have the reds, and that might be a bit surprising because that sure looks pink to me. That top right Montana cans one is a very, I guess it's orangey. It's a very reddish orange, but they call it red. The cap is certainly red, so that is Montana cans red. And then right below that, I am impressed. You know what? I'm really impressed with this Iron Lac stuff. This Iron Lac paint is half the price of Montana cans. It's available at Michael's, and man, these are good, solid colors. The red is a deep red. It's still kind of a bluish red. It's not deep red, but it is a stop sign red. That's a good red. I hope that also turns out well under black lights. So that's what I'm seeing as far as the daylight colors, or at least incandescent colors. Let's turn out the lights and see what they look like under black light. I brought out my good 365 nanometer black light just so we don't have any of that purple wash interrupting and messing up these beautiful colors here. So let's flip that on. Okay, there are our blacklight colors. It looks like, I guess I'll describe them again a little bit just because I'm not sure exactly how, if you're seeing the same thing I'm seeing. And the pinks, under the blacklight, the Montana cans and the Rust-Oleum look almost identical. Again, just a flat orange. The Iron Lac looks pink. I mean, that's kind of what I was expecting the Montana cans to look like under blacklight. But no, that's a good pink, that Iron Lac. And then at the bottom, the Krylon one is a lighter orange. It's just not lighting up quite as good. The blue, that is a solid blue, man. I can't be any happier than that. I've used that blue in some of my projects before, so I'm kind of familiar with it. But looking at it with all the rest of these, it just stands out. It's a good blue. Oranges, yeah. The Montana cans orange, great. The Rust-Oleum orange, great. Although, man, it looks the same as their pink almost. Man, very little difference. And again, the Krylon at the bottom is thin. It looks weak. It's a very weak orange. I'm not really liking the way the Krylons glow under blacklight here. They looked okay in the incandescent light, but man, they're just not really showing up well here. Greens, Montana, good green at the top. No complaints. The Iron Lac green, I was hoping it would glow a little bit brighter, but it is definitely darker, like a little bit of a deeper green. I can't tell if it's darker or a deeper color. Um, Either way, still very good. And the Rust-Oleum is a good green as well, comparable to the Montana cans up top. Now, here's where I have to admit a little boo boo on my part. Uh, I purchased the wrong yellow. Montana cans, their numbering system is a little bit annoying. It makes sense, I guess. I bought the P1000 yellow, and the fluorescent is the F1000 yellow. So I, in fact, did not get a fluorescent yellow for Montana cans. I apologize for that. So the only two yellows that we have is the Krylon and the Rust-Oleum. The Rust-Oleum, again, is really bright there. That's a nice yellow. And that Krylon, yeah, I really am holding the light up to it. It's not great. In fact, it looks green, if anything else. It's just it's not a great color. So I'm judging from these, I am not going to be able to recommend Krylon for much. Those black light colors are just not great. I mean, I guess if you want that particular weak green for something, or that pink or orange, they're fine. But yeah, not great colors. Over on the red, again, Montana and Iron Lac going at it here. They are both solid. They're not, that red on the Iron Lac didn't quite turn out as red as I'd hoped with how bold that color was in the incandescent lighting. But I mean, I guess what can I expect? It's should I really expected like a blood red under UV? That seems a little. I think that would be asking a little bit too much. But both of those are great. So I am really happy with how this all turned out. The Montana cans performed just as well as I thought they would. I'm sure the yellow would be a nice bright standard, bog standard yellow, neon yellow if I would have purchased the right thing. And the yellow, yeah, these are all really good. And I think that just about covers everything. The next step is going to cover two of these in a clear coat, the Rust-Oleum clear coat and the Montana cans clear coat. Leave them out in the sun and rain for 30 days, and we'll see what the colors look like afterwards. The last time I did this, the results were very interesting, and I'm looking forward to seeing what all these can do. So, catch you then. Thanks.